Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Pyathlon. In today's video, I'll be giving you a complete tutorial for how to use MITO in Python. If you're unfamiliar with what MITO is, it is a Python library that allows you to convert your Python environment into a spreadsheet environment, very similar to Microsoft Excel, except you'll be able to have an environment that looks like an Excel worksheet directly in your Jupyter notebook. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do today. This is going to be a complete tutorial that takes you from installing MITO all the way through using it. So let's dive right in. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure we have Python 3.6 or higher. And in order to do that, just open up your terminal and then we'll type Python. Make sure you spell everything right. Dash dash space and then version. All right. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is make sure that we have Python version 3.6 or higher. And the way we're going to check that is Python. Make sure you spell everything right. Space, and then we're going to do dash dash version. There's no space between the two dashes in the word version. So then when you hit enter, we'll see we have 377, which is higher than 3.6, so we are good to go. The next thing we need to do is download the MITO installer, and we can do that by saying Python. Then we'll do dash m pip install MITO installer, and then go ahead and hit enter on that. And then you'll see it will start the installation. And this may take a couple of seconds, so just be patient and wait for it to finish. Alright, and it's successfully installed. The next thing we need to do is actually run the installer. So we have our installer downloaded. Now we just actually need to run it so we can install MITO. And the way we do that is we say Python space dash m MITO installer, make sure that's one word, and then space, and then the word install, and then hit enter on that. And this may actually take several moments, so I'm just gonna pause the video here, and then I will come back when it's done installing. When you run the installer and it completes installation, you should automatically see this MITO notebook launched inside of a Jupyter notebook. But if you don't, I'll show you how you can actually launch one if you're starting a new session. So I'll do that now, and then we'll come back to this notebook. To actually create a new mitosheet, we're going to run this command. We'll say Python space dash m space Jupyter. Make sure you have a Y instead of an I. Lab. And then hit enter. And then it should launch a new mitosheet for you. So once you get inside of your notebook, this is what you'll see. You'll see this cell that gives you the link to the MITO documentation, which is really good documentation. I recommend you check that out. And the link to their Discord if you would like to join that. So we're just going to go ahead and dive right into the code. You'll see this cell imports MITO sheet and then calls the MITO sheet function. So let's see what happens when we run this. It's going to ask you to sign up for MITO. And if you want to use this service, you actually are going to have to sign up. So you enter your email in your company or your organization, and then you'll click the sign up button. So I'm going to input my information, and then I'll come back to this video once I complete that step. Okay, so once you enter your organization and your email, you'll be brought to this screen that tells you MITO is built for privacy, and you will have to accept their terms and conditions. So if you want to look at their privacy policy, you can click that button and it'll bring you to their privacy policy. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but they do collect certain data. Obviously, they collect the organization that you're affiliated with in your email, and they also have cookies and usage data. And so you can see what they define as usage data, your IP address, your browser type and version, and information like that. And you can see the kind of cookies they collect, session cookies, preference cookies, security and advertising cookies. You can see their usage of data and so on and so forth. I recommend you read this before you agree to anything, but I already took a look at that. So I'm just going to go ahead and click accept. You can say, where did you hear about MITO? And what is your primary goal? We'll just say learn Python programming. Finish. It wants you to fill out this field. So I'll just say internet. All right, so let's finish that. Okay, so now we are signed up for MITO and we can move on to the next step. Now we need to import some data into MITO. So we're going to go to our next cell and we're going to use pandas to do this. So we're going to import pandas and we're going to use the alias PD, which is a traditional alias for pandas. If you're not familiar with pandas, I'll try to explain everything as we go along, but this isn't a pandas video, so I'm going to go a little bit fast through this. We'll take our data frame and name it df. We're going to be reading in the CSV file, and mine is called mock_data.csv. And we'll just use the head function to look at our files for rows of data. And of course, we get a file not found error, and that is because it is located on my desktop. Okay, now when you use this head function, you'll see this button, C4 data frame in MITO, and we're just simply going to click that so we can actually see our MITO sheet. And when we click our button, this is our MITO sheet. And the first time you do this, it will give you this walkthrough. So you can click through these. It'll explain the toolbar to you, show you how you can use pivot tables, merge data sets into full screen mode. One of the cool things about MITO is it can also generate code for you. So if you do some sort of transformation inside of your MITO worksheet, it will generate the equivalent Python code for you in the cells beneath your worksheet. So that's pretty cool. This is one of the main benefits of MITO. It makes it easier for you to actually view your data the same way it would if you were using, let's say, Excel or a Google document or some other sort of interactive worksheet software. You can also use MITO to view summary statistics. You can add filters to your data. So if there's something you want to focus in on or exclude, you can use filters to do that. MITO makes it really easy for you to clean and view your data. So it really is sort of a lightweight Excel that you can have directly inside of your Jupyter notebook, and it's pretty cool. So what I'm going to show you how to do now is to create a pivot table in MITO. And by the way, this is fake data. These are not real first or last names. These are fake emails, and these amounts are just randomly generated numbers, which is why I don't need to anonymize any of it because these aren't real people to begin with. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and click the pivot button. Our data source is DF. That's the only data frame we have in our notebook. For the rows, we're going to have the first name of the person. This is just fake data, and this really isn't a pivot tables video. I'm just showing you what you can do in MITO. For the columns, let's say we'll have gender. And then for the values, we'll have amount. And we can actually look at our pivot table now. So you can see our rows, that's the first name of everybody. And then we have gender in the columns and the amount inside of the cells. Now you see all of our amounts are 1, but that's just because we're using count. So let's just go ahead and set this equal to sum. And really, it doesn't really matter what aggregation we use here because there's only one row per person. So we're just aggregating at the first name level. Actually, I guess it is possible that two people can have the same first name. But like I said, we're not doing the actual analysis here. I'm just showing you some of the functionality of this MITO software. So next thing I want to show you is if you scroll down, you can actually see the code that was used to generate this pivot table above. So if you want to edit something, you can either do it directly in this pivot table, or you can actually change the code down here too. So MITO is a really powerful software that allows you to visually view your data and generate code that you can edit to make it more customized to your particular needs. That concludes the MITO content for this video. So if you like that content, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. And also, if you noticed when I was in the terminal, the prompt was Pyathlon. So please subscribe to Pyathlon. And if you want a video on how to change your prompt in the Mac environment, then just leave a comment letting me know and I can make a video on that. But in the future, we have a lot of content coming about cryptocurrencies, NFTs, Python programming, Amazon Web Services, and we already have a lot of great content on our channel. So please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and support this channel. Also, make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss an upload. If you're more interested in Python, we have our Python Basics 20 videos where you can just learn the basics of Python. And we have a Python game development course using Pygame on our course. We have 9 videos in there, and we have more Python content coming in the future. We have a learn cool stuff with Python playlist where you can learn how to scrape Instagram data with Python, and we're going to have a lot more videos coming in that series in the future. So once again, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.